Now, from Hollywood, Romance. Romance. Stories of love and adventure, of excitement and daring-do. Today transcribed Maddon's Folly by John Dawson, an important moment in the lives of two people, featuring Gloria Henry as Midge and Larry Thor as Scott.
Thee, our heavenly Father, who knoweth all things, we commit the body of our beloved to thy eternal care. Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
Trusting ever in thy mercy, we invoke the consolation of thy sheltering wing.
Midge.
Oh.
My plane got fogged out, or I'd have been here on time.
It's all right, Scott. He won't know the difference.
Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, in sure and certain hope of resurrection into eternal life. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.
Amen. So that's that.
Yeah. How you feeling, Midge?
Terrible, terrible.
Where's the rest of the family?
Mom's still in Japan. Aunt Grace is too sick.
Yeah.
I made it a private affair. I didn't want them all to... You know, Scott.
Sure. You feel like a drink?
Oh, I sure do.
I rented a car. Let's get out of here.
All right.
Midge.
Goodbye, Daddy.
Come on, Midge. Still with scotch and water?
Mm-hmm.
Make it a pair.
Yes, sir. Right away.
I need a light.
You need a cigarette, too. That one's pretty soggy. Here.
Thanks.
Doesn't it ever stop raining around here?
Hardly ever, lately. You know how it is.
Well, I'd almost forgotten. Been away for so long.
Well, nothing's changed. Except that he's gone.
Oh, take it easy. You're shivering.
I guess I'm a little damp.
Maybe I should have taken you home.
Oh, no. Oh, Lord, no, Scott. I never want to go home again. This is fine. Thanks for coming, Scott. I'm sure you're awfully busy these days, and it was nice of you to take the time.
The telegram didn't say much.
Well, there wasn't much to say. It was his heart. Thursday night, he went like that.
These things happen, Midge.
Well, thanks again. I mean, for coming, Scott.
Sure.
Scott.
Yes, Midge?
Are you married again?
No. You aren't?
No. You seem sure. I'm not that unattractive.
Well, that isn't it, Midge. I would have read about it in the papers is all.
Oh. Well, I suppose you're going with somebody, and it was pretty darned awkward explaining a trip to your ex-father-in-law's funeral.
Well, nothing like that's awkward, Midge. He was a fine old man. I liked him.
Are you going with someone?
No one in particular, Midge, no.
Oh.
Here we are.
Oh, fine. Thanks.
Sir?
Well, here we are again, Scott.
Yeah. One to Jimmy Maddon, Midge.
To Daddy.
Bottoms up.
Scott.
What?
That man with the camera, he's a reporter. Oh, Scott, I can't talk to another soul.
He must have followed us. The cemetery. Sit tight, Midge. I'll handle it.
What do you say?
I'll think of something. Just a minute.
Pardon me, buddy. I want to talk to Miss Maddon. We'll get to you in a
I'm
second.
Speaking for Miss Maddon.
Who are you?
A friend of hers. Look, she's pretty weary with all this. Let her go for now, huh?
The daughter of Jimmy Maddon, one of the biggest men in this state's politics, ought to have something to say about her father's death.
She does. Same thing you'd say about your father's death, or what anybody'd have to say. She feels lousy about it, real lousy.
Okay, you made your point.
Thanks.
Hey, your name's Scott?
That's right.
Her ex-husband, huh?
That's right.
I mind if I take a picture of you?
I feel bad about the old man, too.
That's it, huh?
All of it.
Where are you located nowadays?
Cleveland.
Practicing law there?
Yeah.
Okay. See you around, Mr. Scott.
Thanks, Scott. I don't know what I'd have done if you hadn't showed up today.
How's your drink?
Fine.
Well, mine isn't so good. Waiter. Waiter.
Yes, sir.
2 of the same, please.
Right.
Darned old rain. Daddy liked sunshine.
Well, it rains now and then for everyone, even Jimmy Maddon.
It didn't have to rain today. Not today.
He could take it.
Oh, you were always so practical.
Just a comment, kitten. Nothing to argue about. I'd better get you on your way.
No, I can sit here like this with you, Scott. And it isn't so bad.
I see.
Do you?
Scotch and the water. Scotch and the water.
Oh, thanks. Keep the change.
Thank you.
This is for the road, Mitch.
Yes, I suppose so.
Are you crying, Midge?
A little bit. For Daddy. Mostly for you and me right now, I guess.
Midge, please.
I need you so much. So much.
Midge.
Yes.
Listen to me. Listen to me carefully. My friend Jimmy Maddon died. He also happened to be your father. My father-in-law at one time. He was gentle and kind and good. To me and to you. I came to pay him what respect I could at the cemetery. We're having a drink to him, to the old man, because we loved him.
But
6 hours from now, my plane leaves. 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm going to be on that plane, Midge, back to Cleveland and Doldrums and whatever you said it was. I'm going to think of old Jim from time to time and remember him as he was. That's about all you can do when a man's lived his life and it's over. Think of him the way he was, the way you liked him. Now, you and I were married once, and we just didn't make it, Midge. His death isn't going to change that. It isn't going to change us. We just didn't make it. We were on a merry-go-round, Midge, and I didn't like it. Nothing can ever happen to put me back on it, understand?
Don't you ever miss me or want me, Scott?
Sure, I lived with you 3 years. I miss you and want you,
Well,
but
then,
Midge...
Scott...
Don't you use it. Don't use him this way. Be decent about this, anyhow. You spoiled little brat. I'm thinking of the phone calls in the middle of the night. I'm in Reno, Scott. Now that we're no longer man and wife, let's be Cuddles and Sweetie. Fly out and we'll gamble together. Hello, Scott. I'm a little drunk. I just had the nicest time. I was with a prince, a real honest-to-goodness prince. Why don't you get a plane and come over to the Riviera?
Stop it!
It's just that I remember it. All of it, Midge. No more of it, ever. Sorry, Midge. Come on, drink up. I'll order you another one.
Let's go.
All right, Midge. Let's go. How's the weather?
They'll fly above the storm. Here you are, gate 2, Mr. Scott. Boarding right now.
Thanks.
Pleasant flight.
Hi.
Remember me, Mr. Scott?
Sure. How's the newspaper business at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Slow. Miss Maddon going to see you off, Mr. Scott?
No.
She call you or anything?
We said goodbye about 9 o'clock. Is that something to write about?
You know anything about the letter?
What letter?
Marks, the attorney for the estate, turned it over to her tonight at the house. Seems the old man left a letter for his daughter to be opened after death.
So?
So I wonder if she opened it and called you or anything.
No.
You sure?
Positive.
She isn't at home for interviews? I thought...
I don't know where she is.
No, it's just an angle. Open after death letters always make good copy. Especially when it's from a man who was big in this state.
I agree. I've got to catch a plane.
Yeah, I'll see you.
Yeah. Midge.
I've been waiting here for an hour, Scott. I thought you'd never come.
What is it, Midge?
He was a thief. He was a thief, Scott. Daddy was a thief.
What?
He left me a letter.
Shut up and get back here. All right, now, what is this?
It's all in the letter. My dad was a thief. Oh, help me, Scott. Help me. Please help me.
We'll return to romance in just a moment. Just picture a map with the states of Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island combined into one area. Well, last year, forest fires throughout our nation blackened an area larger in size than these 3 states. That's an appalling fact. And what's even more shameful is that 9 out of 10 of these fires were caused by human carelessness. Remember that the next time you visit your nearest forest for camping or picnics. CBS Radio urges you to remember that only you can prevent forest fires. And now for the second act of Romance.
Have you got a car?
Right outside.
Come on. There was a reporter around here a minute ago.
Scott.
Shut up. Where's the car?
Over there.
Come on. Here.
Thanks.
Now, what happened?
Mr. Marks was at the house when I got there. The first thing he did was hand me a letter. He said he had instructions from Daddy about 2 months ago to give me the letter before anything.
What do you mean, before anything?
In case something happened to Daddy, to give me the letter before the will was open for probate, before anything.
Okay.
Here it is.
That map light work?
Yes.
Dear Midge, one last word, daughter, and a pretty bitter one it is. They'll be coming at you with all sorts of things now, and they'll find out what I'm about to tell you.
Scott.
Wait. Midge, I bit off more than I could chew when I took that last appointment. My expenses went up and my income came down. I had to have money, Midge. It took me 2 years, but I managed to declare cash dividends for myself that didn't exist. I thought I could make it up, but somehow I never did. Honey, it's close to $70,000. Not much compared to what we've had and made, but hard to make up at this late date. If anything happened to me, I wanted to tell you alone, Midge, before it gets into the papers and they start cutting things in pieces. I wanted to apologize for letting you down. I only let you down this once. Goodbye, my darling. Your dad always loved you best.
What'll I do, Scott? What'll I do?
Let me think. What dividends?
I suppose from some of those northern milling companies. He was chairman of at least 3 of them.
Well, who'd know for sure?
Marks. He's been handling it all for Daddy.
But he doesn't know about this. He couldn't. Not ethically. Oh, poor stupid
But don't
old...
talk that way
he
about
was
him.
stupid. Steal $70,000 and... Well, take it easy, Mary.
Oh, go get your plane.
What?
Give me the letter. Give it back to me. I'll take it to the newspapers and I'll tell them. Before anybody finds out, I'll tell them and get it over with.
Then what?
Then it'll be over with. Give me the letter.
I'll give you nothing.
I need it.
You need some sleep. You better go check into a hotel. If I know the local press, they'll be hot and heavy for this tomorrow morning early. Jim asked me to help you, and I'm going to help you.
Scott!
Yeah, the old man called me in Cleveland a couple of months ago, just about the time this letter's dated. He told me he had something wrong with his heart. He didn't know what might happen. But he asked me to promise if anything did happen and you needed help, to help you.
What?
So I'm going to keep the promise. James Maddon, man of the people. The only two people he ever thought anything about were you and me. God help me, I'll do what he asked.
But what can you do?
I don't know. Marx is handling the estate. How about the will? You know anything about it?
Why, I presume everything is left to me, if there is anything.
Well, where does Marx live?
Pinedale somewhere.
Well, let's find it.
This is quite a letter.
Did you know anything about it at all, Mr. Marx?
I had no idea what was in it. Can I get you people a drink?
No, thanks.
Miss Maddon?
No.
No, I'll have one.
We're the only ones who know?
Right now, yes. According to this.
Well, who has to know?
Who doesn't? The companies. Everybody. Can't keep a thing like this quiet.
The crying won't help, Midge.
There's no sense in talking that way.
When do you intend to file for probate?
As soon as possible. I'll have to. There are some creditors.
I don't mean that.
No, you know what I mean, Mr. Scott. You're a lawyer. The auditors will get busy and they'll find this $70,000 deficit right away. The companies will sue the estate, and you know how nasty that will be.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is hard on you, having to face it, but there's no sense in being harsh on him. You can't try a dead man.
The companies are only interested in their money. Isn't that right?
Their money and other things. It has to come out.
Suppose the money was there when you filed the will.
The estate isn't worth half that now. He spent quite a bit these last few years.
Suppose it was there, Mr. Marx, every cent of it.
All right. Suppose.
If it was there when you filed, could you keep it quiet? I mean, could you arrange it so that everyone he ever did business with, everyone in this state, would think the same of him as they always did, alive or dead?
That would take some doing.
Could you do it?
Possibly.
Would you help him, Scott? It'd be helping Daddy.
Midge, where does the money come from?
My trust.
Huh?
He gave it to me the day I was born. Irrevocable, I believe they called it. It's built up through the years, and it's mine. It's all mine. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Marx?
Oh, yes. You don't have to use that. You're not liable.
I am liable. I'm liable in a million ways. He spent it all on me. He did everything for me that he thought was right. Don't you see? I'm as much to blame as he is. I took it. Never asking, never wondering. I took every dime he had. You were right, Scott, when you called me a spoiled brat. I even spoiled my father.
It could be the other way around, Midge.
But it wasn't. Scott, you were married to me. I hung on to him as though my life depended on it. Everything I was or did was Daddy. He was perfection. He was everything. Now I realize it. Now. Scott, the money in my trust will pay it back. That part of it. Let me at least give him back what he gave me.
It's up to you, Midge.
And let me start clean, without Daddy.
There's barely enough in your trust to cover it, Miss Maddon. It'll leave you without a cent.
Yes, I know. Somehow it seems right that way.
Come on, kid. I'll take you home.
You don't have to take me up, Scott.
All right.
Can I say something now?
Sure.
Thanks again for coming. For him. I felt awfully lost these last few days, Scott. I mean, he was the only family I had. The others, you know how it was with Daddy and me.
Sure.
When I said I wanted to start clean, I meant so I could think of him the other way. As my father. I think it's time I forgot about Daddy.
I know, Midge.
It took me a long time. Scott.
Yes, Midge?
You and me, well, I really didn't understand about us until now. No, I just want to straighten it out. I mean, the only thing that got you here was my father dying, not me. Well, that's what I mean, straightening it out. Oh, darn it, I've been thinking how I'd say this all the time we've been driving. Look, Scott.
Yeah.
I made it pretty bad for you in those 3 years. I've thought about it many times. I mean, keeping you up all night, not letting you work or be what you wanted to be. I know I did it because I always thought I'd have my father to help us. I always knew I'd have him. It was pretty hard for me being married to you, too, wasn't it, Scott? Maddon's Folly, isn't that what you called me? The one child he spent all the money on, made all the fuss about. Well, one thing he couldn't give me was you. I had something wonderful with you once, and I kicked it right out the window. I didn't know it 3 years ago. I know it today. Think about that when you're back in Cleveland. Well, I guess all I'm trying to say is that I've grown up an awful lot these last few days. I'll never be as grown up as you are, Scott. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Midge, wait.
What?
That's the first time you ever really talked to me, Midge. Kind of shakes me.
It's the first time I ever really understood myself, Scott.
How about Cleveland? Do you want to come back with me?
Oh, don't joke with me.
No joke, Midge. No joke, honey.
Come on in, Scott. We'll have some coffee and we'll talk about it.
Romance is produced and directed by William Frug. You have heard Maddon's Folly, specially written for romance by John Dawson, featuring Gloria Henry as Midge and Larry Thor as Scott. Others in the cast were Hy Everback, John Daner, and Herb Butterfield. This is Dan Cubberly, inviting you to hear Romance, transcribed next week at this same time. On guard around the clock. That's the job of a big city police force. A job you get to know realistically on CBS Radio's crime-chasing show, 21st Precinct. Captain Kennelly's the officer in charge, and he takes you through a topical case from start to finish. Join Captain Kennelly on 21st Precinct tonight over most of these stations when he answers another call for help. Stay tuned now for Gunsmoke, which follows immediately over most of these same stations.